But the final topic, Bob Iger obliterating Disney. Can we get like Mortal Kombat, finish him? Like, you know, coming through.
My stream deck. Oh, and it lets me down. No.
Never mind. So Disney layoffs. There's going to be 3 rounds of layoffs by the sounds of it.
Yep.
And pretty massive stuff. And this is what I said. This is what I was alluding to when I said about how Victoria Alonso was the first domino falling. And I said on Tuesday, like, we knew that these were coming out, but not to the extent that these are. These seem, I mean, people within Disney are literally calling it a bloodbath. That's the quote, a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And so we knew some of this was happening, but not to this extent. And that's what I mean by, you know, the domino falling. They are. This isn't cutting the woke out. This isn't trimming the fat, so to speak, either. This is purely just, in my opinion, purely just a cost-saving method. They don't care about anything else. We've just covered the whole ESG stuff. They want a piece of that pie. They're predominantly funded by the companies, the hedge funds behind that anyway. So, but multiple rounds of cuts, basically. We've got late March, literally next week. And then there'll be one in late April. And then there looks to be another one at some time around that as well. Crazy. Pretty huge. Literally no division is safe. No division is safe at all. They're going to merge TV studios as well. Iger is going to have to make a statement, which I cannot wait to see what that's going to sound like. The division heads have already accumulated their layoff sort of numbers as well. I mean, it's they've got to save like $5.5 billion, $5.5 billion in overall cost savings. It's fucking huge. This is the bloodbath that they're saying about. I mean, Culture, you sound like you want to chime in there, bud.
Well, no, to me, this is not surprising, but they're not just doing it there. One of the reasons we acknowledged earlier in the stream that they have pushed back a lot of these projects is Iger is notorious for moving things into quarterly expenditures and dragging things out across multiple quarters if he can spread the cost out, and balance EBITDA and all that other stuff, the tech terms that you would use for that, the accounting terms. But he's also trying to do that with promotional budgets for film and television and everything else. So the thing is, I think it's going to hit the employment side the hardest in the entertainment sector, in the television and film stuff, because it's where they are the most bloated. They've been bloated for a long time in those areas with multiple levels of management that do not need to exist. And it's funny if you think about it, these layoffs are maybe twice as many, maybe 3 times as much as Chapek was wanting. Chapek was targeting 2,400. We're looking at 7,000 plus. We don't even know if 7,000 is the right number.
It could be more than that.
Yep.
Bob Chapek got absolutely railed in the media. Yep. Absolutely railed in the media for floating the idea of doing cuts.
Yeah, but now that Iger's there and it's now 7,000, I don't see the same backlash towards him. Why is that? It's weird.
Well, there's no vitriol, and again, it is driven by the agenda. I mean, we talked about it at the time. I know I heard Mr. H talking about it back then, but the reason it was is because Chapek didn't march along, spouting chapter and verse from the Book of Woke. Not reading off about,
Well, that's why they turned on him originally. Remember, like that was the whole thing. Is he said he wanted to get out of politics and all this other stuff. And they're like, well, that gets us right back to the Victoria Alonso thing. She, among a few others in the company, were like, no.
Oh, it's madness.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt you there.
No. I mean, please, go on. I mean, what do you think about all of this, Tom?
We've been talking about it for years. We know what the problem is. They know we know what the problem is. They're never going to acknowledge it. They're just going to continue to do it. And why? Because to them, it's easier. It's when it comes to this kind of stuff, this ESG stuff, I compare it to, and I don't know if Nate will get this or not, but I know Nick and Culture and some of the chat. Well, like for years in the 80s and 90s, like it basically destroyed the farms in the Midwest because of these farm subsidy things.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it became this thing where it was easier for them to just get paid by the government not to farm their land
Yep.
than it was to actually fucking work.
That
And
happened
now
to my
you have
great
a situation.
grandparents' farm.
Exactly. Now you've got a situation where all these farms are destroyed because of this years and years of this crap. And you've got these, big, huge facilities now that are doing all the work of those farms. And it's just, it reminds me of that. We've come to this wasteland now where 90% of what comes out, if not more than that, even normies don't understand it completely, but they still wait and see. It's like this thing like, I know something's wrong with it, but I don't like it. Same thing with Marvel, everything else. And South Park spelled it out too. So if it's hitting South Park now, it's hitting some of the other people. You just said it earlier in the cast too, Nate, about the trades are starting to call Disney out, right?
Yeah,
Well,
they're like a year behind, 2
Yeah.
years behind everyone else that's a little bit more tuned into it all, like in terms of their public outcry.
Yeah.
Oh, bless. Doggo. I've actually got a doggo down there.
Sorry, I actually have somebody at the door. I'll be right back.
We don't deserve dogs. I say that every time.
Tom has an Amazon package being delivered.
Oh, I go into complete idiot mode because I love dogs so much. Jasper's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Does not care about me at all.
He's like, can you put me down? I was trying to nap. What's going on here, Dad?
No, he wasn't. He was milling around. He's been milling
was
around
he?
for a little while.
My dog's out in her bed, out in the living room, on top of the couch where she likes to lay.
I always sound like a complete idiot. Somebody brings a dog on the screen, I turn into a babbling idiot.
He's funny. He's funny. Everyone always asks where Jasper is. There he is. So yeah, I mean that. But this is the bloodbath. This is, Bob Iger nuking from orbit. Disney in general. We already saw it. We've been saying it for so long. All we're doing now is going, well, there's that puzzle piece we spoke about.
Yeah.
There's that puzzle piece we spoke about. And we talked a week and a half ago now about the first of many when it came to Willow season 2 being cancelled.
Yeah.
And then we saw that with the Marvel shows being permanently delayed, just coming soon. Victoria Alonso being fired. Now this happening. We've been speaking about this for so long. It's like, yeah, obviously, but obviously we have to now put this into the context that we've been speaking about and go, yeah, here you go. Here's the proof. Literally here is the proof of everything we've been discussing this entire time.
Yeah.
Tom, are you back or not? Are you dead?
He's probably it's probably an Amazon package, but
God, I wish my Amazon package they didn't even knock on my door the other day. They just gave it to my neighbor. I'm like, I'm home. What are you doing? They just got an email going, you weren't in. Fucking hell.
I'm sitting right here.
It's really annoying. Anyway, yeah, bloody Amazon.
It is weird. I mean, and a lot of people probably don't want to, especially the media doesn't want to acknowledge just how right we were the entire time, and that's okay.
No. But Variety is starting to.
Yeah. Well,
Variety again. There's those 2 articles there. They are happy to trash Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel, Disney. It's so funny. They didn't have to list half the things that they did in that article about the Kathleen Kennedy and the creatives leaving the Star Wars projects. It wasn't relevant. They didn't have to do any of that. They're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll do that.
Well, but it kind of warms your heart a little bit.
Oh yeah, but yeah, of course it does. It's funny as hell. Very funny.
Look, I'll never get joy out of somebody losing their job. That's an unfortunate reality. I mean, none of us are. Well, true, but none of us are monsters.
But these people, these people that get fired from their job, it's not like they're like, oh my God, like I'm going to be out on the street now.
Yeah. They're fired with millions.
Yeah, I mean that they'll be just fine. And a lot of these people that a lot of these woke activists that are getting fired, man, I praise their firing from the hilltops every single time.
Okay, but let's talk about the production assistant that's working on this Star Wars project that gets shit canned, right? I mean,
I agree there.
Yeah. The low man on the totem pole stuff, that's not good.
Well, that's unfortunately what will be the bulk of these cuts. We know it will be. That's why I was amazed that they are getting rid of people like Victoria Alonso, because that's a huge person. But yeah, I don't like to see normal people get fired, because normal people are you and I.
Yeah.
They live in the vicinity, they have to do a job, so
Yep.
they go to the biggest employer nearby. And that's not, that's not for lack of conviction or anything like that.
No.
That's just you just have to feed yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like people turning their nose up at scrubbing toilets if you have to. If you have to scrub a toilet for work to feed yourself, you scrub a fucking toilet for work to feed yourself. It's exactly the same principle here. So I never like to see them get fired. But the head honchos, the people in charge making decisions, stuff like this.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I figured. I didn't think y'all were heartless.
Oh, no, absolutely no, absolutely not. No, but those people, into the ground, dirt, absolute dirt. Tom, you're back now. You got anything further to add to that?
No, I agree with you guys 100%. A lot of these people are the reason that the problems exist, and that's the best way to, get rid of the problems is cutting off some of these bigger people. And that's the thing. She sounds like one of the problems. Alonzo, anyway, sounds like one of the problems in the building. So again, I don't think it's going to fix the woke, but it's going to definitely probably help things a little bit. At least there probably won't be as much resistance when they're saying, let's not do that so much.
Yeah.